Howdy. So, Jeff, say your last name for me.
It's Hofer. It's
Hofer?
actually a lot easier than it looks. Kind of a silent ER.
Because it looks like Hoferer, and then
it looks like
Hoferer.
a mouthful of marbles. Yeah, it does.
All right.
But
It's
yeah,
much easier.
It's much easier than it looks.
And what extraction is Hofer?
That's German.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So is mine. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right. Happy October.
Should I leave?
Yeah. Do you mind?
I'm Irish.
It's okay. We can all drink together.
Here we go.
There you go. We're here to talk about Dollywood, which I got turned on to the other day, and I watched all 5 episodes that are currently on.
Nice. Good.
And so I feel caught up with the entire series. So
very cool.
Tell me about the genesis for making the little series.
Oh man, you want me to take this one?
Yeah, you should
Okay.
take this one.
Well, I think it all kind of originated. Bryan and I, we have to drive out of town for auditions on a pretty regular basis. We have the same local talent agency, so we drove to Shreveport, Louisiana, quite a bit for like film auditions.
Yeah.
And
Tax credits.
Exactly. And on the way out there, we just kind of fall into this shtick, and we start talking about being an actor in Dallas, and kind of like a Southern actor, and I think it just kind of took on this life of its own, and we started thinking of these storylines that we had experienced on a regular basis,
Yeah.
and we've got to do something with this. And I think I actually kind of surprised Bryan one day by calling and saying, dude, can you shoot something like this weekend? I went ahead and wrote a script for an episode of this web series we were throwing around, and can you do this? And that's pretty much how it came down.
Yeah, they always say write what you know.
Right.
And he would just take our real life stories and make them real life.
Yeah.
That's
So,
true.
do you guys actually share an apartment together, or?
Yeah, we share a bunk bed. A lot of people know this at home, but we do live together.
He's being
Nice.
generous. We actually share. It's a single. It's not even bunk.
Yeah.
No.
I guess I'm moving out.
We don't, which is I'm gonna clear that up.
Awkward.
Some of your best acting right there.
Was it?
So is it actually filmed in one of your apartments?
It's my apartment.
Yeah.
It really
Actually,
is my living room.
And we also have a studio set up of his apartment at
Well,
Las Colinas.
Yeah, the first
No.
episode was in my apartment.
I got John. I got
There you go.
Got you, buddy.
Bait you in.
Fish hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have stand-up background at all? Do you do any comedy?
Bryan has an entire stand-up routine.
Yeah, I've done a little stand-up, but I usually like to sit down.
Of course.
No, my stand-up routine. Oh God. Can you leave that?
Can we? Yeah. Is it?
No. You hit stop, right? You hit stop. Okay, good. Well, let's talk real, John.
Yeah.
No cameras.
Okay.
No, I've dabbled in stand-up comedy. I've done some improv. I did a lot of improv back out in La La Land, and I enjoyed improv and comedy. I'm not sure much people enjoy my improv and comedy, but
No, you do what you love, right?
you do what you love.
Yeah. Cool.
I know my mom was a big fan of my stuff. Hi,
Uh-huh.
Mom. Love you.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of his mom.
Wow.
Really awkward.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
She's a nice lady.
Well, Bryan, are you a whipped cream abuser in real life? Or?
Actually, I guess you
Speaking
could
of
say,
improv.
I guess you could say I'm pretty much whipped. Yeah.
Stop. Okay, so you ask about that, and the first episode we shot, that was some of Bryan's improving, where he came in and he was went over and tried to find something in the fridge as he was making his grand entrance, and he pulled a can out. And,
I think it's more or less a little homage to Goonies, which I grew up as a kid loving.
Chunk,
You ever
right?
see Goonies?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's no Avatar, but what is?
Right. It'd be on my top 10 list, but
Yeah.
too old.
Back in 1987,
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin, that's right. Good movie.
Cool. Well, then you take a divergence from the whipped cream to the pudding in one episode, which to me was the highlight of the series. I love the pudding gag.
We like to plan our food.
That was all that guy.
Yeah, that came off really well. I
Thank
thought.
you.
Well, it didn't come off well.
You're not putting us
Yeah.
on, are you, John?
Oh, no.
Whoa.
I just did. That just happened.
Again, edit button. You can take care of
No, I want that in there. Sometimes you get copper, sometimes you get gold.
it was, that was planned. That was not improv, but it ended up being, I'm sorry, improvised. Improv people will get on my case for that. It was not improvised.
Okay.
You don't want me to go into it, but yeah, you Okay.
No, I mean, you just did, so that's great.
Well, I studied improv for a little bit, and
You
I
did?
do know people take it very personally when you say I improv that, because improvers call it improvised.
If you say improv,
And that's how you can tell.
it's-
That's how you can tell the amateurs are.
And improv is spelled pretty much improved. You put never mind.
So
Copper.
what are your primary artistic influences, Jeff, as you're sitting down to create a film?
John Hughes.
Really?
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
I am R.I.P. I am a huge
He is a
John
huge.
Hughes fan, and
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller's my hero.
Yes.
You can notice I try to keep the Dollywood kind of PG, kind of family friendly,
Mhm.
and
I don't.
And again,
The yin
edit
and the
button.
yang.
It's okay.
I thought it was cue cards in this interview. Go ahead. I'm sorry, John.
No, I'm the only one with a cue card. So I noticed the episodes are progressively getting a little longer. They started out short, and they're getting longer, and you're starting to add more outside characters. Is this kind of the direction you're going? You just starting to flesh it out a little more?
Well, you know what? That's one thing I love about doing a web series is we don't really have set guidelines, and it's the internet. We don't have to worry about like advertisers, at least not right now, but we're looking for some. I just like the freedom to be able to go, whether we want to make it 3 minutes or if we have 7 minutes of footage and it makes sense, then roll with it. That's, like I said, that's what I love about the internet is we can make these as long or as short as we want. But no, to answer your question, not necessarily shooting for longer episodes as long as, scripted, they're always between 3 and 4 pages. But depending on how much improvising goes on, it can go up to about 7 minutes. But I really don't want them to get much longer than that because I feel like the web audience doesn't really hang in there past about 5.
Although we are doing a mini-series, we're going to go for prime time.
Really?
A 12-hour, Jeff is running it, of course, but a 12-hour Dollywood
One episode.
episodic television, but pretty much like North and South meets Dollywood.
Meets Lonesome Dove.
Kind of like Roots meets Lonesome Dove meets Dollywood.
Sounds fabulous, really.
Does it, John?
Sounds hilarious.
You should pitch
You
it.
edit that out too? I don't trust you, John. Edit that. I'm just kidding. Awkward.
So I noticed you cast one of my favorite local actors,
Thank you.
Ariane Martin,
Oh.
in one of your episodes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's
And
awesome.
so, are you planning on bringing more and more
Ariane.
different local talent on? And what's generally the future of the show that you see?
The future. What was the question again?
Okay.
My good ear.
Ariane is awesome.
She's
and
awesome.
we it was
Very
kind of an
talented.
ongoing joke. We were getting a little flack because we hadn't used any actresses yet, and we didn't want the local actresses because there's a great pool of
Yeah, it's
local
deep.
actresses.
Very deep
Um,
talent pool.
And
Of actors, too,
we
everybody.
didn't want them to think we were like not using them on purpose. So
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to bring in one of the best. Ariane came in and she played 2 roles in that episode, which was awesome.
She's great.
And yeah, she's super funny in that, and she got to slap Bryan, which is kind of a dream of a lot of people,
Yeah.
including myself.
Thanks.
And-
And Reese wanted to slap me as well, I believe.
Trying to keep it within the Dallas talent base because it is Dollywood after all. And if we were to bring in like Will Smith or something for an episode, it might budget. And
Otherwise, you would have brought him in by now.
Right, you're right. Yeah, it would make sense on a few different levels if we brought Will Smith in. But yes, to answer your question, trying to keep it local.
Gotcha.
28th of December, we're
What?
going to be shooting the finale of Series 1, so Episode 6, and it should be a good one. I'm kind of bringing out all the stops in this one. So,
Outstanding. Well, I look forward to seeing that one.
thank you.
So do I.
So, any interests from big development people or even small
Have you
development
ever
people?
seen Titanic? You know James Cameron?
I do.
He's not interested.
Of course, I would love to talk with development people about it, but as of right now, we're still kind of shopping it around, so we'll see what happens.
They're looking for sponsors. The Starbucks is great, by the way.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think we'll have to cut that one.
What?
Look what you did now.
Do you, either one of you have any favorite films for coming up Oscar season you want?
Favorite film? I think I'm really looking forward to, as far as Oscar nominees go, I want to see The Departed. I really think it's got a chance this year. So I'm a
Yeah,
little
that-
behind on movies, but I definitely want to see that one.
And that was a year or two ago,
What?
Bryan. Yeah.
This is true. The Departed?
But you can still see it if you want.
It was a great movie though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Yeah. Late fees.
Thank you, John.
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you, and Pegasus News. Thank
Thank
you
you,
very much
everybody.
for having us.
And, happy holidays. and all that.
Happy holidays.
holidays,
Happy
sir.
holidays. We'll see you next year in 2008.